What's up, you amazing people? This is GreyMan here with the Grey Exchange. How is everybody doing out there tonight? Everything looks good. I look like I'm 5x5. Everything looks good except for that screen is not showing me live, which I am because I know I am. Let me refresh this. Actually, let me say hello to some people first before I refresh it. I'm not a big deal about watching that screen. I have this one here in front of me. All right, so who do we have in chat tonight? We got South Florida DCL. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Monty, any special guests for this? No, Monty. So I don't think I'm going to have any guests until after the first of the year. I do have 3 or 4 guests, a couple special guests set up for Tuesday night's slot. But that will be a surprise coming into 2022. I think I'm going to finish out the year with just my face right here with you folks. Sorry about that. But good to see you, Monty. Mama Bear, J15, coffee first and speak. Thank you, coffee first, then speak. I should have took my sip of my coffee first, right? What's up, JT? Joni, how you doing? Granny Fisher. JRC is in the house. Steve Spillman. Let me see. Jeff. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. Jeff, I got other stickers placed in the appropriate places that you sent me for Christmas. I appreciate that, Jeff. If you guys don't know, then you don't know, but I enjoyed doing that. What's up, Jan? Good to see you. How you doing? Drew Blood. Awesome. I like that name. Who else do we have in here? Stands Alone. Moving on in. K. Giselle RN. I'm always quiet on chat, but I'm here. Hope you had a lot of love. I did have a lovely Christmas. Matter of fact, I do have some things to go over with. That being said, maybe I'll cut in before I finish all the hellos that if you are watching this on the replay, you might want to skip ahead about 15 minutes because I'm going to go over some stuff, some Christmas stuff that I didn't get to go over on Thursday because I missed the mailbox and all that jazz. All right. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the stream. All right. Trying to make sure Yarn Prepper's in the house. Let me see, who else do we have in here? Ann from MA, good to see you. D Brown. I'm waiting for Thor Haven. Always the kind words. I appreciate that. Hey, Barbara. Good to see you. Oh, man. Cherokee Survival in the house. What's up, Cherokee? Good to see you. Dale. Who else do we have in here? I know I got JT. Dobie Farrar. Colleen Rich, Bryce, Amanda, the Swafford Homestead, Tennessee Tacticals in the house, Miguel Boricua, Pony Girl, Chief Prepper, Tiny Titan. Let me see, Ragnar, Thor's Hammer, late again. No, you're right on time, Ragnar. Seabass, good to see you. Or should I call you Seabass, as Rudy does? Rip Curl Readiness is in the house. What's up, Rip? How you doing tonight? And Joshua Howell. I think I got Allison Sherman, Hig Homestead. Watching the last couple of you folks roll in here, we have about 80-some people still climbing, but I'll catch some of those folks as they fall in. Gary Morley, Nottingham, UK. Thank you, Gary, for being here all the way from the UK. Little Miss Prepper, like that. Watch out, but don't make the live off and finally made it. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Milo on the ready. Good to see you. Empress Kimberly. Oh, Pony Girl. I think I got everybody right. I finally got the little snowy, I think, majority. I'm just making sure. Jeff Sams, Joe's Crayons. My Christmas was great. Did you like about your Christmas, Gray? I'm going to go over that, Joe's Crayon. I'm going to go over a little couple things. Hey, Donna, how you doing? For Home 2C. Let me see. I think I got everybody. Just taking my stats and watching some fine friends. I appreciate that. Raptor Ranch. Let me see. Gary Morley says, thumbs up, y'all. We got about 62 thumbs up and 90 watching. Not too bad. Arlith, good to see you. All right. I think I caught up with everybody. All right. So, folks, what I'm going to do for the first part, Northern Girl Hobbies, glad you made it because I have something of yours that I wanted to show, and I needed a question answered as well. But Alabama Whitman, Firefly Farm, Deacon Prepper. All right. Donna Hazlitt. Oh, let me see. I think Lisa Hoffer. I think I've caught up with everybody. All right, so let's get into this. So, of course, you guys know things always come in late, right? And when I was watching Rudy's live stream on Sunday, it made me think there was a few things that I'd like to share with you folks too that were kind of pertinent. We have a 100% pretty much prepper Christmas here at the Grey family, and some of the things that we exchanged and gave each other for Christmas. Other than Little Miss Gray, Little Miss Gray got her first multi-tool, so she was very ecstatic about that. I just saw my name highlighted there. Brad, good to see you as well, man. Good to see you as good, Brad. Good to see you as well, Brad. Hey, Anna. Kevin Grip. Stewart's Prepping. I told you I'll try to keep up with y'all. So anyways, I got a few things I wanted to show you folks, as always, before we get into what I got for Christmas. I'm not going to show you everything because it'll take up too much time, and I know you guys are here for the topic. But I wanted to share this, and this one kind of, I like this one, this card here that I got to Season's Greeting. And the reason this is my father has a truck just like this, except it's in black, that he built from the ground up. And this is from Merry Christmas and Keep on Prepping. And I'm probably going to destroy this name because I cannot read it. If you're in chat, please let me know who sent this. I'm trying to see. I don't know if you guys can. I'm bad at handwriting. I can't read that handwriting. And I don't want to. It looks like Anna. I don't know. Hopefully I got it. Got it right. But I do apologize that I could not read that. What is this one from? This one is from, so this one, and you know who you are. I'm not going to say specifically, but I know who you are. This was from Miracle. And thank you. My daughter loves what you sent. She truly appreciates that, Miracle. It says, remembering you this Christmas, the Lord your God will bless you as he promised. Deuteronomy 15:6 NLT. Miracle, wishing you a joyous Christmas and a brand new year bursting with promise from your furry friend, Miracle. And with a little paw print. All right. And what else do we got? This one. It says, my friend, you have such a caring heart, which is, I thought was very kind. And this one's from Bonnie Bethel. A lot of you guys know Bonnie. She's always in chat and in the comment section. And Bonnie says, thank you for all the information you put out here for our community. I really appreciate it. GreyMan and family, at Christmas, I want you to know that I'm thankful for you and wishing you all the contentment and joy this beautiful season has to offer. Merry Christmas. Wishing you all Merry Christmas and a happy, joyful New Year, Bonnie Bethel. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Appreciate that. Second Amendment's in the house. Lisa Hoffer. Did I say what's up, Harvey? I hope I did. A Crafter's Grimoire. All right, so this is from, thank you, Barbara. This is from, oh, that's kind of cool, Northern Girl. That is really cool. So Northern Girl sent me this. A lot of you guys know who Northern Girl Hobby is. She sent me this really cool card. And inside this, it says, Green Dude, holiday blessings from our house to yours. Love, light, and happiness in 2022. Jen, Allie, and Stitch. And most of you folks know who Stitch is. I thought this was cool that she sent me this. This is a, let me see, from Cuba, which most of you guys know I'm from Cuba, which I thought was really neat. And then Northern Girl also sent me these seeds, Hop-Eye, okay? I'm going to make sure you guys can see that. Come on, camera focus on that. It says Hop-Eye. Now, when I looked that up, Northern Girl, that's really, your dad is the artist. That is awesome, Northern Girl Hobby. But the seeds, so when I looked up Hop-Eye, I know they're a native tribe, and they have different various seeds. So Northern Girl, if you could tell me specifically, they almost look like, they remind me of, I don't know what kind of seeds to say, but they kind of remind me of a pumpkin or a fruit or something. So let me know what kind of seeds they are. Rare Squash. Thank you so much for that, Northern Girl. Truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. So that is the last of the cards and stuff that I got for Christmas from you, the viewers. And I wanted to, Hopi, there we go. Hopi pronounced. Thank you for that. Because you know I mess up everything. Empress Kimberly says, great video with the rice. I learned something. You know what's funny about that, Empress Kimberly, is that it's one of my lowest viewed videos so far. It's picking up momentum in the aspect of views, but I notice whenever I do something that's very educational, that takes a lot more time, it doesn't garner the attention that it should. But I'm pretty sure folks will come across it throughout the years, and maybe it'll help some folks out there. That's why I still do them regardless of how the YouTube doesn't like to push these educational videos. A lot of people told me they didn't even get notifications for that video. So if you haven't seen that video yet, and you want to see how Grey stores rice for long-term storage in his 5-gallon buckets and all that fun stuff, check out that video and all that fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to show you some things real quick that I got for Christmas before we get into the oh, I seen it. Christopher Alexander. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. Coffee First Then Speaks has helped me. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. No problem, Jen. Take your time. It'll always be there. Ain't going nowhere as far as I know. So let me go into a couple of things. I want to show you this one thing that my Lady Grey got most of these gifts for me, but she got me this piece of artwork. Let's see if I can, I don't know. Right there. Trying to see. There we go. But Lady Grey got me that piece of artwork, which I thought was really cool. I don't know what you guys think about that, but what's up, Potato Head? Dreams Acres? Weather for Christmas. I appreciate that. Also got a nice, awesome wool blanket. Ain't nothing like having a wool blanket. Wool blankets are a great prep to have, even here in Florida. If you guys know why wool is such a key thing, why we have wool socks, wool has a lot of really good qualities, especially in a blanket this size. And when I go out on my camping trip, this will be coming with me attached to the bottom of my thing. It's nice to have. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then she got me something for the vehicle. Now, you don't have to use this for your vehicle. You can set it up in your home, which I thought about, but I'm going to probably put it in my vehicle. She got me this Bearcat 980 SSB, which is single sideband. And when the CB radio, Empress Kimberly, yes, that was a great painting. I agree. Single sideband CB radios are a little bit better than your standard CB radios because you get all the channels, plus you get the lower and higher bands. So it gives you a lot more options for having a CB radio in your vehicle. So if you don't know what single sideband is or something like that, it's something for you to check out. Maybe we could do a review down the road or something like that of this and why this is a better CB radio than some of the standard ones. I need more wool too. I like it. Very cool. She did good. Exactly. All right. So now for my favorite parts. Now, not that I say that none of that's my favorite, but you guys know I am a book nerd, and she knows this. So she got me some books that were on kind of a wish list that I've had sitting around for a while. And I know some of you guys are going to definitely do a review. Cool CB radio. Hey, GreyMan, what's your favorite campfire meal? Gary, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And to be honest with you, if you're talking about freeze-dried campfire meal, like the chicken and rice thing that I get from Mountain House, but honestly, I like stews. You know what I mean? Like some venison stew with some cut up carrots and potatoes and stuff like that. If you happen to have that on your camping trip, if not, if you're just out in the wild and you can get some wild onions or some leeks and some other things in there and whatever you can dig up, along with whatever that you happen to kill, be it venison or small game or something like that. I don't mind having some of that straight from the earth kind of food as well. So that's kind of cool. I don't have any wool, but I have family quilts. Right on, Yarn. Baked potatoes, bacon and eggs, gravy and biscuits. Now, Barbara, I tell you that I am a fan of that. I love bacon. I have eggs every morning. It's like I have to have it. I got a number of books for Christmas, and one that I got was called a batch. It's so interesting. I like cooking potatoes. Just stop to hit the while watching on Roku. Have a blessed evening, y'all. Thank you, Julie F. I appreciate that. So I got this one, the complete Dehydrator cookbook. I thought that was kind of cool. I had no idea that they have books like this. I had a couple of them that I know were aware of, but I did get a new dehydrator, several dehydrators, because we're going to be doing some comparison reviews down the road here for 2022. And I know some of you guys are going to say the ball canner how-to book is the best, but a lot of people suggested this book as well, because Grey's going to be doing Polar Patriot. Yeah, GMRS radios are awesome. I'm going to be doing a review of a couple GMRS radios here soon. But I got this book here, The Complete Guide to Pressure Canning. A lot of people had recommended this book as well. So another good book. And I thought this was, she must have thought out the box. I don't know where she found this at. She must have found it somewhere. My pantry inventory book. And it has so you can write down stuff. I know it's kind of bright on the screen, but it's pretty cool looking. It has all kinds of different stuff. Thought that was neat. A lot of you guys know I was in the military when I was in the military, it was technically a 91 Bravo. What's up, Diabetic Prepper? I was a 91 Bravo, but then they reclassified it to a 68 Whiskey as of current. But she got me this big old book, which is a very helpful book with a lot of great information in there. This is the official U.S. Army Combat Medic Manual. And funny enough, this has the same material in the books that I trained out of or learned out of, you can say, in the Army, which I thought was pretty cool. I guess you can buy it in the civilian world because it has a lot of stuff about even how to load folks on Jeeps and helicopters and all that stuff like that. Now, to my two favorite ones that she got me. Let me take a sip of coffee. Citizens Band Radio. Exactly, Steve. I figured most folks know what CB was, but some of you folks might be fans of these books here. This is the Native American Herbalist Bible, 3-in-1 Companion to Herbal Medicine. Phenomenal book. I've always wanted this, and now I have it. I'm so glad she really, you guys know medicinal and wild edible plants are the way to go in a worst case scenario. And then she got me this big book. This will be the last one. This is the Native American Herbalist Bible, 10 books in one. This is really cool. I was like ecstatic to have this book in my prepper library. What's up, Monty? What's up, JM? Good to see you. Good to see you. It's funny. You guys notice I don't have a banner going because I have to come up with a new banner, like hit the thumbs up button and some other stuff. I got to figure out what I want to do for the new banner running across there. But tonight we're not having one. Yes, Potato Head, someone does love me. That they are, D Brown. That they are. But to me, books, anything tangible that you can read and absorb knowledge from is a way to go. Because if you guys know, if things go really sideways and the grid goes down, or even some sort of power situation or whatever that might happen, having something that you can reference is always super important. The remaining remnant. I like that. Raka, good to see you. East Tennessee Preparedness. Trying to see anybody else. Os Lander's in the house. I won't touch the grunt joke book about, right? Right, Os? All right, so let's dive into the topic for this evening. And it's really, a lot of people will do topics about, like how I do on the Sunday Shift Report. We talk about politics and the end of the world and that kind of stuff like that. And I'm trying to veer away from that a lot. I know it doesn't garner the attention that some other folks like, that prefer to hear that type of material. But I want to start to push myself more towards educational, informational material. Some folks even said that they want me to do away with the Sunday Shift Report, but there's too many of you folks that have been watching it, and we're at almost 50 episodes. So the Sunday Shift Report will most likely stay on the political and current events thing. So that will probably stay. And of course, the rest of the content will stay prepping based. But anyway, so why are we here tonight? Why emergency preparedness matters? Huge question. And I feel it's super important because emergency preparedness is huge, not even only in our community, but it should be something that everybody should be paying attention to. And the other part of this this live stream is how can you help others be better prepared? So we're going to kind of touch on that a little bit real quick. Not real quick, but have a conversation about it. And let me bring up my handy dandy notes. Just so I have something to keep myself occupied with so I can look at it on the screen instead of looking at my face. Listening, checking pressure, can gauge, yum, beans, and ham, 16 pints yesterday. That's awesome, Joni. What's up, Cellar Door? Yeah, wild edibles. I agree, Cellar Door. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody there popping up. So, I mean, anything from natural disasters, some sort of catastrophic events, let me see, accidents, terrorist attacks, civil unrest, natural disasters like your tornadoes, hurricanes, all that fun stuff. And I don't mean literally fun, but you kind of get what I'm saying. It's not if, it's just when something like that is going to happen, and why emergency preparedness matters so much. And a lot of people, unfortunately, live their lives on a daily basis, not ever thinking of the worst case scenario. And I understand why, because it can be extremely overwhelming and kind of keep you very anxious. We'll do yarn, prepper. We'll do yarn. Because many will feel that it's, I guess you could say, uncomfortable to consider such things in life and ignore their existence until it happens to them, until it catches those folks off guard. Wow, Tiny Titan. Snowstorm, huh? Hey, Donna, good to see you. How you doing tonight? Praying it up? I appreciate that. Truly appreciate the kind words. D14, I guess I just insert random comments. Yes, D14, that you do. But honestly, there's no benefit to ignoring the risks at hand when it comes to preparedness. Because the last thing you want to do is try to figure things out after the disaster happens. That's awesome, Barbara. That is awesome. Don't you know? Good to see you. Camping and hiking books have great helpful info. Check your secondhand stores. We'll do, don't you know? We'll do. But But to me, there's plenty of benefits when it comes to emergency preparedness. Basically, the way you can look at it is preparation or being prepared saves lives. Not only your lives, it can save lives, your family members' lives or your friends, because just think about some of the scenarios that you possibly, even you folks out there, you the viewers that may have been in, like for myself, hurricanes and other natural disasters here in Florida that I've been in, how having certain things can help save lives, be it if you have an individual first aid kit, be it if you have, radios or comms, different things like that. So there's different levels to preparedness, of course, and there's different variations of all the different gear and things that you can have. But in my personal opinion, just having stuff in general, certain stuff like food and water and stuff like that, is giving you the essentials for at least making things a little bit less anxious when something does arise. Let me see. I'll look at it. I'm trying to look at my notes here to make sure that I don't miss anything. And I agree. Some folks have said that emergency preparedness can be a life or death situation for a lot of folks. If we can look as far back as some of the things that have happened in the past, like Katrina, and just imagine if some of those folks were been better prepared for that situation. Now, some folks are going to say, well, we can't prepare for everything. And I kind of agree and disagree with that statement because, okay, so let's say you're preparing for, I'm trying to move my keyboard out of my way. So let's say you're preparing for, let's say, tornadoes, or you're preparing for a snowstorm, and you're stocking food and water, firewood, and various other things like that. When you look at that, if another disaster happens to present itself, be it depending on where you live, being that you might have specifically prepared for a blizzard or whatnot, you still have things prepped for, let's say, worst case scenario, the grid goes down. So you have firewood, you have ways to heat yourself, and you have food and water for your family. I was watching, I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys probably watch a TV show called Yellowstone. And there's a spinoff called 1883, I think. And I was watching this the other day. I'm on the second episode of 1883. And I think they have Germans with them, German immigrants with them, and they're taking them across the land, and they're all drinking out of the river, and they're all getting sick because they don't know how to boil water. So it made me think to myself, wow, in life, that would probably happen to a lot of folks, a lot of city dwellers or people in general that are not educated on, you just can't go to a running stream and drink the water out of it, at least 90% of the time or 99% of the time, because you just never know what might be upriver or whatnot, right? So these folks were getting sick because they were drinking out of the river as they were moving across the land. Sorry, I'm jumping in the chat real quick. And so it made me think that, some of this basic information, like my rice video, regardless if it gets 1 million views or only 500 views, that it's going to find someone and it's going to teach someone something educational that could possibly down the road save them or someone in their family or whoever has come across it, help them get through a tough time. What's up, Creative Redundancy? I agree. Preparedness does matter. Hi, everyone. It's my birthday today. 54 years young. Aletha Walters. Well, happy birthday. Don't eat yellow snow, Miguel says. Duke, man, I agree. I compared it to, what is it? I call it the Yellowstone, kind of like the Godfather series, but with cowboys, right? But it's a great show. But I like the spinoff. I like to look at old, I guess it's not old, but like things about how people trekked across the lands to populate the West and so on and so forth. And all the different things that they had to come across. I mean, these folks were just coming across in wagons with all their everything they own in their life in that wagon. And they had to come across a very, very harsh reality of all kinds of things that they had to fight. Let's say not marauders, but let's say Indians at the time, or people trying to steal their stuff. The women were, what happened to some of them, and consuming and eating and living. And I mean, I'm assuming going by, I just said the word, right? Going by the thing with wheels on it, going by wagon is not a very fast-paced thing, especially if you have a single or a couple of horses, and how long it takes to come from east and going outside to west. Because I think these folks were either headed to Oregon or Montana or something like that. And I know I'm gotten way off talking about this TV show, but it had relevance, relevance? No. It had, relevance to what I'm saying. Tony Smith Hermit, Manifest Destiny. Love my Westerns. Love old wagon train Western movies. Agreed. There's some great things. And we can learn from all these things, like that, watching some of the trials and tribulations that these folks experienced. Because to me personally, that's what a lot of folks have lost, is these old ways. These people that are experienced knew to boil the water before drinking it because they didn't want to get sick. And even back then, it's ironically enough, they were dealing with smallpox during that time frame. But anyways, good to see you, Raptor Ranch. Primo, good to see you as well. All right, where am I? And matter of fact, speaking of which, having access to water and food can prevent people from starving and suffering things like dehydration and starvation. And this is why a lot of us folks on this platform in the preparedness community, we speak a lot about food preservation, long-term food storage, and all these huge elements that basically are key components to, I guess, to the keyword prepping. I've noticed sometimes when I mention the word prepping, some people get it wrong. They're talking about meal prepping. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you can kind of call it meal prepping. But then once I explain to them disaster preparedness, that's how I kind of approach it when it comes to explaining what I do here on YouTube. But one big thing about being prepared, I don't know if you guys feel the same way as I do, but the more prepared that I become, the less anxious that I am. Because any type of disaster can take a huge psychological toll on your psyche, on your mindset. I don't know. I know some of you folks have had to been into some situations where you've been in a disaster scenario because it happens a lot. Like I said, it's not if, it's when, depending on where you live. And like I said, Tiny Titans out there and a snowstorm without for 3 days snowed in. But being they are prepared, it's no sweat off their back. That being said, so imagine the folks that aren't, and we can use Texas as an example. The folks out there in Texas that went through that thing last year, a lot of those folks, weren't prepared, and some perished. Some people lost their lives just because they didn't have simple things like alternative ways to heat their home or themselves and cook and eat and all that fun stuff like that. So to me, preparedness is definitely can reduce many fears when something bad does happen, because calmer heads may prevail or whatnot, calmer minds, something like that. Psychological fitness is a key to survival. Thank you, Dr. D. Good to see you as well. Aaron Goodman, same here. I know sleep better. I know not knowing if something happened, I would be. Yeah, agreed, Aaron. 100%. Also, proper planning can reduce a lot of issues as well. And that's why I'm always talking about plan, and also not just plan for yourself, but plan for your family and others, because and having everybody know the plan. It's no sense in having a plan if you don't really, go over that plan with everybody in your family that's supposed to be a part of that plan. Because, I mean, to be honest, prepping can reduce suffering. It can prevent needless hardships on people's lives just by buying a little extra food a month, just by grabbing some candles and extra batteries and little things like that that add up. There's people out there that probably don't even know what the word prepper is, but they are a prepper without even knowing that they're a prepper. People that stock things like, hey, Margaret, we need to get some extra batteries, or hey, Margaret, and I'm just making this name up, but let's get a couple extra this or extra that, and let's put it to the side. The unfortunate thing is that in today's society, a lot of the younger generation have no clue because everything is presented to them in an easily wrapped up little package. And they don't ever think that it's not ever going to be there until they're faced with that situation. And that's the last thing you want to do, is become unprepared and be faced with a situation that can depend on you, your life, or someone that you love's life that you may be responsible for. And speaking of that, knowing what to do, how to do it, and how to do it effectively is also going to help you be less anxious, and things are going to run smoother. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation where something happens, because it's not like, well, I guess a hurricane is different. You have a lot of time to know it's coming, right? And save for a rainy day. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh, Minuteman. Anyways, where was I? Now I got stuff. Anyways, it says knowing what to do where you can lessen the fear to the unknown and help all involved reach safety faster. So knowing what to do in any situation, and being able to provide something faster, like let's say medical aid. Someone is bleeding profusely and you have a tourniquet, or if someone just has some nicks and bruises or sprained ankles, or just anything medical, and you have some basic understanding because you went out and got that book, you did a little bit of training, you did some practicing, and had a plan that when something like that happens, you're not all frazzled. And this person, and I'm going to tell you one thing: a lot of people underestimate small infections, be it in the feet, the fingers, your extremities, and stuff like that, because if they are not taken care of appropriately, because we're so used to, I don't know if you guys automatically, like the other day, you guys probably can't see, but let me move this here so I can see my camera. You guys probably can't see that. I don't know. So no, you guys can't see it. So anyways, the other day I was putting up some solar lights and I rammed my finger into this piece of metal that cut straight into my fingernail and into my side of my finger. And I immediately go to the first aid. I go and rinse it out with some hydrogen peroxide, even top it off with a little alcohol just because I'm paranoid. And then I take some triple antibiotic cream and put it on there and, make sure everything is nice and go. And then, of course, I made sure that the bleeding stopped and had all the fun stuff like that. But I wasn't freaking out as the blood squirting out of my finger and whatnot, like some other people look. As soon as they see blood, they freak out. But I knew, okay, well, I hurt myself. I need to get it resolved. But just imagine some folks, if you didn't have stuff like this put up, if you didn't have triple antibiotic creams, if you didn't have alcohol or hydrogen peroxide or stuff like that, and you went without, and you were in a situation where you just couldn't go to the store and buy it. But I'm okay if anybody cares to know. It hurt, but I'm okay. Alcolado. Yes, creative redundancy. Exactly. You can feel it when you're bleeding pretty good, and you hold that, and when you apply pressure, you can feel your heartbeat beating through that. You didn't use the duct tape? No, I did not. Coffee first. But if I had to, I do have. Some people would say I'm a duct tape hoarder because duct tape comes in so handy for so many different things. That I have white duct tape, black duct tape, your standard grade duct tape. I just have duct tape everywhere, and all different sizes. I have 2-inch and 3-inch, 4-inch, all different sizes of duct tape. Suck it up, right? I know, Brad. I know. I did. I sucked it up. Oh, man. Dr. D, yes, all bleeding eventually stops. Hopefully in a spot where it's not a main artery and you bleed out and then it stops. What's up, Dragon? Good to see you, man. Long time no see. I hope you had a good Christmas, Dragon. The Smiling Wolf duct tape is a construction bandage. You know what's funny about that? When I was messing with my finger, Lady Grey comes up to me and she's like, do you need anything else? And she's like, we have moleskin. I was like, I don't need moleskin for my finger. But it made me laugh because she's going through we have like this massive first aid kit. I have it in the hall closet, and then I have my first aid bag behind me. And she's like, well, what do you need? I have this and this and that. And I'm like, it was just funny the way she was naming things off. I don't know. She probably was messing with me. And Barbara, yes, iodine is nice to have as well. I use iodine for certain other things, but it comes in handy. Iodine is a kind of like a multi-purpose thing. All right, back on track, right? Back on track. Where was I? Let me see. Also, what I wanted to touch on back on the topic is preparation. Being prepared makes it easy to recover from a situation. Being that if you're in a disaster and you're unprepared, it takes a lot longer to recover from something like that if you are prepared. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys out there in YouTube land. Because if you notice, some people that a situation arises and they ride out the storm with no issues, it's easy for them to bounce back. For other folks that either went through some extreme hardships and had to go and get help from the government or whatever entity that they needed to get help from, and had to get removed from their home, and because they didn't have the things necessary in their home, and all that stuff like that, was a lot harder for them to specifically mentally bounce back from that. I don't know. I feel good that I know if something happens, most of the time, I'm good no matter what happens. If the world was a shut off tomorrow, I'm pretty good for a while. And then with the information and the materials that I have at hand, I would make do as the best I can. There's a lot of, here's a kind of a funny thing. I've seen channels say, there's a lot of people that down, how do I want to put this without agitating anybody out there? Some people say that, that you, by being prepared is only part of the story, which is true. Being educated and understanding how to use the tools that you have, specifically your brain, and the tools that you have set forth that you're going to be using in a situation. But I'm trying to think what I hear this a lot, that some people say, well, all the preppers are just they're all going to die, especially the fat ones, the fat preppers and stuff like that. And I laugh because you can't designate someone's mindset just because of the way they look. You can't judge them because if they're heavy set or whatnot. And I think it's funny because I hear people all the time say, yes, physical fitness is huge, and I plan on doing a physical fitness routine here in January just because I'm not satisfied with myself, not because someone told me. There's just things myself that I want to resolve. But I don't want people to get deterred when they come across a channel and says, if you are old or if you are, overweight or whatever that they happen to be spreading for their message, I don't want that to deter you from becoming prepared or staying prepared. Because any type of preparedness is going to be beneficial to the people, specifically for you and whoever else you're preparing for. I just hear a lot of negative stuff out there, and it kind of besieges me why they would say these things. And I understand maybe someone that's heavier can't run as fast or move around as quick. But if you ever notice when people get into a certain situation, a survival situation, something comes out of them and they're more prepared mentally than they think they are. And you see this a lot when you send a lot of young kids overseas to war the first time. And when they're being shot at for the first time, some will freeze and freak out. Others will put their big daddy pants on and say, okay, let's move forward. And they adapt and overcome the situation. So don't get me wrong. Some folks probably, well, I'm trying to think of, I don't know if I'm saying this properly, but anyways, some folks will probably fall off, but there's a lot of folks. I don't want people to get deterred from some of the things that they read or see out there in YouTube land. What's up, Terry? What's up, Josh? Anyways, hopefully that made sense. I am, let me see. Barbara says I am 100 pounds and work out my grandkids. That's awesome, Barbara. I tell people, what's up? Thank you, Smiling Wolf. Sometimes I just get ahead of myself and my brain is moving faster than my mouth, if that makes sense. Odessa, how you doing? Y'all from Idaho use electrical tape in my first aid kit. Yeah, electrical tape comes in handy. And Raptor Ranch, that funny that you say that. My dad is going to be 71 this year, 71 in July. My dad still works out every single day, not literally every single day, but he is always worried about his nutrition. He does have his own gym in his house and puts work in to stay as fit as possible, just because you never know what to expect. Now, here's what I do suggest. If you do feel that, if you're in the garden and when you get up from the garden, your knees ache or your back hurts, then maybe you should do more of it, possibly. You know what I mean? Try to work out those ailments out of as best as you can. Now, I know some folks have debilitating diseases or other things that prevent them from doing that. But maybe that you can do things like, let's say, like me, I like to hike a lot. Matter of fact, I should record it more often, but I go hiking about 4 or 5 times a day, or a day. What am I talking about? A week. Anytime when I have time off, I'm always going to the woods. I put my pack on and I go for a long walk. On average, on a minimum, about 4 to 6 miles. And when I go out for the long hauls, I'm doing anywhere from 10 to 15. And I'm not the smallest person. But a lot of folks are surprised the amount of weight that I carry and the distance that I go. At least a lot of my friends do. They're like, how did you do it? You're out there in the Florida sun and you're just hiking through the woods like it's no big deal. And I'm like, well, because I do it all the time. Let me see here. I recently bought a bougie RV refrigerator. I don't need it, but it's small refrigerator. It's mobile. And I'm reading stuff just because I have my name in it. D Brown, thank you so much. You are what you eat. Smiling Wolf agreed. And that's what I was just talking to Little Miss Gray about earlier, funny enough. What's up, North Cal Prepper? Good to see you. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. I have a new ache every day. What the cure for turning 50? Coffee, I'm right behind you. I think I'm 46 or 47. I forget how old I am. The color drop muscle memory. Agreed. As you Uber is better. That's hilarious. What's up, Our Tent Life, aka? Oh man. Trying to see, put brain in gear before you put mouth in motion. Roger that. Do the things smarter instead of harder. And Dragon, you're absolutely right. Find ways to do things smarter than putting yourself through harder situations. There's so many things I want to say, but I know there's other people who think differently than I do when it comes to nutrition and health and exercise. Because you see, you guys are spring chickens. Hey, Hawkeye, good to see you. What was I going to say is a lot of people think it's crazy when I tell people I haven't had a soda in years. They're like, what do you mean? You don't drink like soda pop? And I'm like, nah, I don't drink it. I said, I drink tea, coffee, and water. And they're like, how do you live? And I'm like, I live pretty good. Of course, during the holidays, you can't keep yourself in a situation where you don't get to enjoy a little bit of stuff, like some pumpkin pie or some potatoes or, some of the sweet stuff every once in a while. It's just, you got to, do things in moderation, as they always say. Anything in excess, even exercise in excess, can be detrimental to your health. I know that sounds crazy, but I did research on it because I have some friends out there that literally are like these chiseled pieces of stone. And I'm like, how do you get that way? And they told me, funny enough, I said a lot of it has to do with their diet, their exercise routine, but also their genetics. Right on, Creative. I love my coffee. I like drinks sweetened with stevia. Duke, I've tried stevia, but let's say with my coffee, instead of using anything, I know this is going to sound weird to some of you folks, but in my coffee, I put a couple tablespoons of heavy cream. And the reason I use heavy cream is because it sweetens up my coffee, at least to my taste, enough. Also, it has good fats in it. I know people, when they hear the word good fats, you're like, what do you mean good fats? Like avocados have good fats. Just like if you have regular potatoes and sweet potatoes, well, sweet potatoes have slower moving carbs than than your white potatoes, if that makes any dang sense. Tiny Titan zucchini bread is awesome, and there's a lot of things that you can do. Chief Rubber says super glue. Are we talking about the medical stuff, Chief? D Brown, whipping cream and butter. That sounds like a keto mix there. Now with keto, I pondered the whole keto thing in the past. Smiling Wolf says, yes, we do need fat to survive. And as a matter of fact, like I said, this goes to the conversation. I was literally having an hour before I started the stream with Little Miss Gray. And we were talking about fats and how you need fats because your body uses those fats for energy and whatnot. Good fats is good because it's never doing crime. But so I talked to a couple nutritionists and a couple of doctors when I had pondered years ago about doing the whole keto thing. And they warned me, like I said, it's not something that you can really do for long periods of time. If you're trying to lose a specific amount of weight and you want to do this and that, yes, because it's not like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not the end all save all thing, because it can be hard on certain people's kidneys and stuff like that. I know a couple of friends who went on it, and to see them suffer through the things that they went through and limiting their carb intake to just almost no carbs at all, I was like, that's rough. And they looked extremely tired. They looked extremely fatigued, as they call it, the keto flu. And I guess they get past that. But I'm the type of, yeah, you guys know who Bruce Lee is? What's up, Granny Goose? Teresa, I Phil, how you doing? I'm assuming a lot of you guys know who Bruce Lee is. And I know I'm going to go into a little thing here, but so Bruce Lee took the best of a bunch of different fighting arts and kind of combined it in his own thing called Jeet Kune Do, if I pronounce it properly. But he took a little bit of Kung Fu, he took a little bit of boxing, and took a little bit of wrestling. Well, that's how I approach the way I wanted to do my, I don't want to say a diet, but a lifestyle change, because diets are a fad. Going on a diet is useless. You have to go into a lifestyle change. So what I did with my lifestyle change years back is I took a little bit of what keto had to offer. I took a little bit of what paleo had to offer. And I took all these different things that people use, Mediterranean diets and stuff like that, and built my own thing that worked for me. And that's what I suggest, because what works for others may not work for you. So you have to find a happy medium, because by starving yourself is not the best thing to do. I've seen people who calorie count and they're like, well, I'm only going to consume 1,500 calories today. And they starve themselves once they reach that 1,500 calories, and then they don't eat nothing else. It's not really the ideal thing to do. And I'm no nutritionist, so you don't have to take my advice for it. But when I lost that first 150 pounds, my doctors were even shocked. Like, how did you do it? And I explained to them what I did. And of course, they're doing blood work with me every 6 months to make sure that I'm not out of whack. And the worst thing that the doctor told me, and you guys are going to think this is crazy. The worst thing that the doctor told me, thank you, Color Drop. I'll have to come back to that. Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. Thank you. Is that my salt intake was low. And I was like, my salt intake? But then when you see a cardiologist, they tell you to stay away from salt. So I was confused that my doctor is telling me that I need a little bit more salt in my diet. And I said, is it because I drink so much water? And he says, well, probably. There's a lot of different key components to what you're doing, but you need a little bit more salt. So, of course, I dived into the research on pink Himalayan salts and all this other kinds of different salts, and ways that I can consume salt in a healthier way than just eating, salty food in general. But like I said, I'm one of those people that like to research every possible aspect of everything that I can think of until I exhaust myself and can't find any more information about it. For the record, when properly motivated, you can move very fast. Exactly, Chief. I've seen some big dudes. I got some friends that are some big boys. I got some really big boys for some friends, some big old country boys. And when things start happening and the crap hits the fan in certain situations that we've been in the past growing up, those boys move pretty quick. Those boys move pretty quick. Coffee first, then speak. Thank you. I appreciate that. Coffee is a diuretic. You're exactly right. Sweating leads to salt depletion and color drop. And that's a lot because, like I said, I do a lot of hiking in the sun. I do a lot of walking. I do a lot of biking. And in the summertime, I do a lot of swimming as well. But swimming, I'm kind of, in water. Babasia, yeah, that's what he kind of went into, that he didn't want me to get to that danger zone where I didn't have enough salt in my body. It wasn't bad. He was just saying that I could add some more to it. But all in all, to know that what was I? Back then I'm 6'1", and I was about 275 pounds. He said I was in pretty good health for someone my size. He said he was kind of shocked to see the blood work come back and say, man, you're doing good. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Electrolytes. Yes, electrolytes D14. That's why I substitute electrolytes into some of my water that I do. Dragon says, just remember when being chased by a bear or alligator, you don't have to be the fastest, just the faster than the person you are with. Right on. Oh, man. If you sweat a lot, you should take potassium, especially in the summer. And that comes back on hand with the electrolytes. Salted peanuts. Great take a dill pickle when hiking for salt. That's actually a good idea, Steve. I love pickles. One Girl's Trek, hello. Is Charlie in the house? I don't know. I didn't see Charlie. possibly. I see Harvey threw his link out there, so I figured Charlie might be in the house. I've weighed 225 pounds for the 40 years it's changed from solid to soft through the past few years. Deacon, I understand that all the way, man, brother. I was extremely 100% physically fit coming out of the Army, and as the years progressed and as I got older, things change. What's up, Sunset? JM, always with the great info, JM. That's 5'1". I've been. Wow, Joni, that's awesome. Matter of fact, if you guys watch Frontier Preppers, Billy and D went through that whole process with the gastric bypass, I think, if I recall correctly. Homestead Jen says magnesium is underrated. I'm assuming. Eek Mouse 01, good to see you. Yeah, Smiling Wolf, and that's what I tell a lot of people. They ask me, what do you do for your diet? And I said, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And I said, I do clean eating. I look for the most nutrient-dense, most healthiest option foods. And to me, that's why I'm trying to get better at gardening, because I feel that by growing my own food, I have the more optimal nutrition that I can get from his store-bought stuff. Barbara, right? And don't get me wrong, folks. On Saturdays at my place of business, we have it's going to sound funny, but there's a bunch of us adults that get together, and we have movie night at my shop on Saturday nights to end the week. And we have we eat ice cream, and I always use that as my, if you want to call it, a cheat day, because I don't have ice cream a lot, just once a week. I would love to have it all the time, but it's probably not the best option to consume ice cream all the time. Roger that, our tent life. You know, it's funny. A lot of people look at meal replacement plans or meal replacement drinks or protein shakes and stuff like that. Ensure, Pediasure. There's all these different drinks. Come to find out, they are not all created equally. And do your research if you're going to be drinking some of these things for either meal replacement or for vitamins and minerals. Because come to find out, a lot of them are full of crap, mainly sugar and useless stuff. Exactly, Smiling Wolf. And we went down really a big side path of we started getting into nutrition and stuff like that. Little Lone Prepper says, what kind of movies do you watch? I'm your typical, I guess, prepper guy. I watch a lot of survivalist movies, outdoor movies, sci-fi, country westerns. I'm just and then I'm a zombie fanatic. We've discussed this in the past, but anything zombie I probably watch, from the black and whites to the most not even B-rated zombie movies, like C-rated zombie movies, the absolute horrible ones, just because I like to see what they do. Teresa, I have to take steroids daily. Little Miss Prep, you're exactly right. Read the nutrition labels. I see people looking at me all the time when I'm in a grocery store and I'm analyzing two different labels of two different types of products, and I'm trying to like balance between the two, which is the one I want to get. Yeah, Raptor Ranch, two great ones right there. That's what I'm on right now, is the Yellowstone and an 1883. Yeah, the bypass, she went from 320 to 100. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. And like I said, you know, it's funny, years and years and years ago, when I was about 410 pounds, man, this was about 8 years ago, I pondered doing gastric bypass, but I was scared to go under the knife. I'm one of those people that have never, ever, ever had surgery in my life. And I was scared. I feared going under the knife for some reason. I don't know why. At the time, I just didn't want someone cutting my stomach open and doing some stuff, even though it was supposed to be a simple procedure. So I decided to do it the hard way. Which gave me a sense of, I learned a lot in that process about foods and nutrition, exercise, and all the other stuff like that. Let me see. Carol Dotson says, don't you have to eat a lot of meat on keto? I don't like a lot of meat. I don't like beef or chicken that much. Well, with keto, they eat, yeah, you're right. It's mostly a protein-based diet, very little carbs, lots of fats. And to me, I don't think you can live off that. Some people say they can, but I guess everybody's body's different. Pony Girl says, great. It takes me 2 hours to shop for 5 things because I read every ingredient. Right on, Pony Girl. But that's smart. That is smart. Smiling Wolf says, none. No knife. Didn't want to mess up the bikini line. Yeah, right, D14. You know, it's funny you say that. Anna said, I had gastric sleeve surgery. I lost 146 pounds. And like I said, that can be beneficial to some folks. It's like I said, it was just a big decision for me at the time. And, you know, I just decided to go a different route. It would have saved me probably years of doing what I was doing. And then I know some folks that after they have the surgery, they have to go back for a secondary surgery to remove the excess skin when you drop so much weight like that. From my understanding, from what I've seen on some of the TV shows out there, that people that have had the gastric bypass surgery, once you lose the weight, you have to maintain a proper diet and stuff like that moving on forward, because I've seen some folks that went back to their old habits and kind of destroyed everything that they went through. Miguel says, I lost 125 in fat and have a lot hanging skin plus hanging. Right, Miguel? It happens. Yes, Minuteman 69. That is me. I am the guy in the aisle blocking things. But I'm such a big guy that most people walk. They wait for either me to move or they walk around the entire grocery store and go to the other side. I don't think that I'm a mean looking person. I'm very approachable. I don't know what they see me at. Maybe it's my size that can be unapproachable. Maybe because I have a knife on my hip and, all kinds of other gear on me or something. Who knows? I have no idea why people look at me funny sometimes. Yes, Little Miss Prepper. Exactly. So it's something that you have to continue to, no matter what you do to lose the weight, you got to make it a lifestyle change. You can never go back to the way it used to be. Life would be grand if we could just eat whatever we want and be as healthy as possible, but that's just not the way that our bodies are made up of. JM, she is 5'7". She is 5'7", JM. 5'7" and about 125 pounds. She is a little person compared to me. But I'll tell you one thing though, and this is why I love my wife the way I do, is when she met me, I was at the 400-pound mark, and she was probably at the 95-pound mark, and she still found something in me to give me an opportunity to build the relationship that we have. Matter of fact, our anniversary is coming up. We've been together 16 or 17 years and been married. Our 10th year anniversary of marriage will be this February. So I find that we've went through thick and thin, literally, for quite some time. Yes, lifestyle changes are huge. They're a lot harder. Trust me, they're a lot harder to do. And it takes a lot of dedication to do so and discipline. But once you obtain that discipline to do so, it's going to benefit you long-term in life. JM, you're 5'3". Little Miss Gray hates it because she feels that she's going to be tall because she's 5'7" and I'm 6'1". There's a big eight. We're about 13 years apart as well. I know, Potato Head. That she does. I am 5'10", 215, down from 245 this time last year. Recently invested in an e-bike and have lost another 5 pounds in the last month. Diet and sleep are critical as H2O and Eekmouse 01. You're absolutely right. Sleep has a huge thing. Believe it or not, folks, I've been researching sleep because I'm curious. That's why I had this stupid little thing on my wrist because I'm monitoring my sleep habits for the last week. I'll probably do it for a month and then take that information and write it down because I'm using it to figure out, because I did research on how much sleep someone my age needs to be efficient or to be as most efficient as they can be because there's a lot of information out there in regards to sleep. I'm also researching a lot of things about with gut health and how important gut health is to your all around health. I guess it starts right there. And it's a huge part of that is fermented foods, believe it or not. Fermented foods is huge. So I'm looking to incorporate certain things like that into my diet. And when I say diet, I don't mean like a fad diet. I mean into what I consume on a normal basis. Yes, Smiling Wolf. Agreed. Good night, Scotty Drake. It's actually, yeah, we're at an hour. I need to wrap this up. We went down a rabbit hole of nutrition and stuff like that, but hopefully some of you folks, well, it looks like we got a lot of folks that enjoyed the content. We had 149 thumbs up, so that's pretty awesome. I appreciate that, folks. Let me see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything on my notes real quick. And I didn't. It looks good. Everything looks good. I think I got everything that I wanted to go over, hopefully. And hopefully you guys got some sort of value out of this content. My live streams are a little bit oddball sometimes. Sometimes we just get start talking about whatever it may be, and we go down these rabbit holes. And hopefully some of you folks pick up things or at least get motivation to possibly do something different. You know what I mean? If you're struggling with certain things. But we as a community, I think is beneficial to each other in the aspect that we learn from each other and support each other. What info on sleeping right now can you share? Well, Harvey Black, come to find out, the older you get, the less sleep you need. That was one of the biggest things I learned. I thought it was the opposite. So the younger folks, like your kids, need more sleep than the older people. So the older you get, the less sleep that you need, which is weird. Like the average person in like the 60 to 80 range technically only needs 6 to 7 hours of sleep to be fully rested and ready for the next day. I thought it was the opposite at one point, but no, I guess the younger you are, the more sleep that you need. So maybe that's why your teenage kid is sleeping until 12 o'clock in the afternoon because they stayed up so late or whatnot. But if that's one thing I can help you out with, Harvey, that was one of the key elements that I found in sleeping, which threw me off for a loop because I thought the older you get, maybe you need more sleep, but it's totally the opposite. Do you guys folks know Pinball's 6'8"? Man, that's tall. Is he really 6'8"? That sounds like my buddy Thomas. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's a lumberjack, is what I call him. Yeah, melatonin. I know some people that take melatonin. Carol Dodson says, I literally dream about zombies. Billy D's gonna smack you for that. Oh man. You too, Little Miss Prepper. Yeah, I know. Wow, JT. I had no idea. I had no idea how tall he was. That's crazy. Anyways, I know he's about to start his live stream if he hasn't started already, so I don't want to cut into his time. I know a lot of you folks like to watch his content as well. And there's a couple other lives that start around on this hour between 8 and 10 p.m. There's a bunch of different live streams that pop off. So first of all, let me say thank you all for listening to me ramble for this hour. I truly appreciate every single one of you guys that join me on these live streams. And mods, always appreciate your guys' help and keeping everything family friendly. Hope you guys had a good time watching me and also interacting in chat. If you get bored down the road, check out some of the content that I have on YouTube. Lots of educational material there. And I will see you guys Thursday night live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Late Night with Grey. All right. Good night. God bless. See you guys in a rebound.